Sense. Sense creates man's own world. How it is clear and right builds up that man. How beautifully it is made up by means of an artificial technology. It never supersedes or reaches to the grade of the beauty of life that the nature creates. In this world dexterously and brilliantly ejected are the vitality of the heart and the emanation of the wills of all the creations. The wills of man and the nature never become extinct and fill the upper stream and flow. Further above lays the God's will and intention that emanate down to the earth. When it is looked by the heaven, it is an incident under a cloud like a thin fog that covers the earth ultra-lowly. Once outside of it there is no wind or clouds, but only exists the crystal-clear world where the right order of the gods is maintained and the natural providence is enforced. Man cannot keep a right sense unless man can manage oneself in whatever the situation one is put, such as in a storm or a calmness. How man can maintain one's righteousness and can grow in a large scale depend on a right sense. To have it makes man accomplish one's journey. Man can have the better sense if the longer man contact with the God's will that is deeply colored and enriched. It stimulates life of man who ejects a pluck from one's own heart. If the sense were born in other distorted thoughts and exists only for this earthly world, it is incompatible with the God's will. It ends up in the fog in the lower class of the earthly world. If man only uses it, man's own spirit is just wasted. How to have the right sense and keep it correct is very important for man who has the God Spirit. Because of it, the will activates. Man cannot unify one's own will if the sense is clouded or captured by the wrongs. Whatever the problems or the obstacles get in one's way, man must solve them quickly and keep the right sense as clear and lucid as possible. If man can connect to the heaven and earth, one's mind keeps health. And man can act right and never falls into an accidental situation. Man who can accumulate the right sense and give a goodness that nurtures whole the creation is the God oneself on the ground. One knows the joy of the living God. There are lots of kinds of people who see only mundane and do not see their spiritual body, and never know whether their origins are right or wrong and where their origins really are. The true origin of man's state is a never-ending progress. To walk effectively makes easier to enter the route to the personal development. Sometimes man fails because of entering trivial branches. Man may get some damages in the process of restoring the original state of mind, and wanting to flee in the atmosphere of the gods and the nature from desperation. But man must overcome them and cross a ridge. Even though man experiences the hard times, one comes to awake for the desire to go back to one's true nature. There are some who never could have the right sense and end up their life in totally the different sense. The God-man never can tolerate it and never can stay in this earthly world without having the right sense and the sublime joy. To do an effort for having the right sense for both mind and body as soon as possible is to lead a worthwhile life and open one's eyes to see the wholeness.